results of an experiment.
An event is an outcome or a collection of outcomes, such as rolling an object. The set of all possible outcomes is called a sample space.
You flip a coin and roll a number cube. How many possible outcomes are in the sample space? The solution is to use a tree diagram to find the outcomes in the sample space. The sample space has 12 possible outcomes.
If the probability is 0, it is impossible. If the probability is 1/4, it is unlikely. If the probability is 1/2, then it is equally likely to happen or not happen. If the probability is 3/4, it is likely. If the probability is 1, it is certain. Odds in favor are the number of favorable outcomes over the number of unfavorable outcomes. Odds against are the number of unfavorable outcomes over the number of favorable outcomes.
The formula for permutation is n factorial over n minus r factorial. For example, in how many ways can you arrange the letters of July? To find the number of permutations, you multiply the choices for the first letters, which is 4, the choices for the second letter, 3, the choices for the third letter, 2, and the choices for the fourth letter, 1. There are 24 ways you can arrange all of the letters in the word July.
Combinations equal n factorial over n minus r factorial times r factorial.
Example, count the combinations of two letters from the list A, B, C, and D. List all the permutations of two letters in the list A, B, C, and D. Because order is not important in a combination, cross out any duplicate pairs. There are 6 possible combinations of two letters from the list A, B, C, and D.
Are overlapping if they have one or more outcomes in common, as shown in this diagram.
Two events are disjoint or mutually exclusive if they have no outcomes in common, as shown in this diagram.
If A and B are any two events, then the probability of A or B is PA or B equals PA plus PB minus PA and B. If A and B are disjoint events, then the probability of A or B is PA or B equals PA plus PB.
Example, a card is randomly selected from a standard deck of 52 cards. What is the probability that it is a 10 or a face card? Solution. Let event A be selecting a 10 and event B be selecting a face card. A has 4 outcomes and B has 12 outcomes. Because A and B are disjoint, the probability is 4 over 52 plus 12 over 52 equals 16 over 52, which is approximately 0.308.
If A and B are any two events, then the probability of A or B is PA or B equals PA plus PB minus PA and B. If A and B are disjoint events, then the probability of A or B is PA or B equals PA.
The probability of the complement of A equals 1 minus the probability of A.
independent and dependent events. A jar contains red and blue marbles. You randomly choose a marble from the jar, and you do not replace it. Then you randomly choose another marble. Tell whether the events are independent or dependent. Event A. The first marble you choose is red. Event B. The second marble you choose is blue. Solution. After you choose a red marble, fewer marbles remain in the jar. This affects the probability that the second marble is blue, so the events are dependent.
Equal to the number of hurricanes in the northern hemisphere divided by the total number of cyclones in the northern hemisphere, which is 545 divided by 1,142, which is approximately 0.477. The probability of the northern hemisphere having a hurricane equals the number of hurricanes in the northern hemisphere divided by the total number of hurricanes. This equals 545 over 760, which is approximately 0.717.